outlook for the week that starts on the 10th of April 2023. So these are levels that I'm going to be looking at going into this week. So first level, looking sort of where we are right now. Key daily support and resistance, that's coming from the daily support from the 14th of April 2022, so about a year ago. Above that, we've got obviously the quarterly resistance that comes up right here. And then on the weekly, we've also got the resistance here. Sort of runs all the way through. Above that, another daily level. So obviously, form support here on the daily. Looking straight across resistance at the same place. So looking across there, again, tapped into it here. So I still think this is relevant. So that's the next sort of level that I'm looking at. You see obviously we form resistance below it there on the 4 hour. Then above that, another daily level. So daily resistance. October the 13th, 2022. You can see that we started on the daily. You can see the reaction a bit. So obviously tapping into it here. Here again, form of resistance here. So you can see the reaction all the way across here. Most recently tapping into it in December last year. So when you go on the 4 hour, you can see the reaction a bit more clearly all the way across here. Very impactful. Resistance on the 4 hour, sort of similar to what we've got over here that caused all the rest of that. So I think that's as far as I'll sort of go looking to the upside. Looking to the downside, so I've obviously got my daily resistance coming from the 21st of February 2023, all the way across here. Issues on the sort of 4 hour and stuff like that, clearly. Most recently tapping into it on the 7th. And then you can see, obviously, this is where we're starting to see our daily support coming from. Below that, daily support resistance level coming from top wick on May the 4th. Resistance reaction all the way across here. Tapped into it here. This was sort of one of the things that showed me before we'd even seen any of this that it was going to be clearly impactful as we were sort of starting to make the move back to the upside. So I've had this marked since before the start of the year, actually. So, yeah, not a surprise at all that we've seen reaction to it like all the way across here. Like 4 hour support forming on it there most recently. If we start pushing up, level below that, top end of our previous daily zone. So that comes from 28th of December. Obviously that formed the resistance that sort of held price down. Price broke out, and that was what was holding price up. And you can see, obviously, as we broke back into the range, that was clearly still very important. And then now we're obviously well above it, but coming back down, I see this is a very important level. Then I'll just go one level lower than that. That was the weekly support resistance coming from the weekly resistance on the 21st of March 2022. This is a level that I wasn't really looking at. And then I think there was a trade or something like that last week or maybe the week before. And we were really seeing issues at this level, and I wasn't really paying attention to it. And then it was Wes that mentioned the level. So I went through and I looked at the sort of reaction we were seeing, and it was a sort of really clearly sort of important level. So now I'm sort of looking at that there. Other than that, Q2 base we've been through a million times before, so I won't go into that. So those are the levels that I'm looking at going into this week. Not really going to go into any scenarios, same as normal, but I think it's interesting that prices sat between two sort of key areas on the higher time frame. So obviously got the daily support resistance here, and then we've also got our other one there. So we're sort of trapped between these two levels here. Looks like we need some volume or some sort of volatility to sort of push us out of this level here. But yeah, other than that, we're sort of holding higher structure. So it would be nice to see some upside, but I'm not really bothered because either way, I'll just be following whatever the 4 hour says leading into the session. So that's what I'm looking at there. So data releases this week. So Monday, I won't be trading because there's a high potential for lack of volume and inconsistent movement because it is a bank holiday. So, but this is the first day of the IMF meetings. So if you want to sort of read about what that is, there's a quick summary there. I'm not just going to read everything on here. So if you give a shit about that, go and either pause or go and read the other link. But because of the nature of these meetings, it can obviously have a pretty big impact on the FX markets. So if we do see any sort of unexpected moves this week, you could probably put it down to this. So Tuesday, nothing that I'm really looking to plan my session around. We've got some little bits going on during the session. Nothing too sort of major. Wednesday, the same. We have a German bond auction. That's literally the only thing that's going on. But even then, that's nothing major. Thursday, GDP. So because of GDP, I've been through the previous reactions we've seen to this in some of my other data release outlooks, so I'm not going to go into it again. But we usually see a big reaction to GDP, so from what I've seen, by 7:15, price action the market sort of digested what's going on, enough to be sort of getting into trades. So I'll be won't be looking to trade till the 7:15 candle open onwards. Friday, literally hardly anything again, very light session, nothing really worth talking about. Then Saturday, obviously we've got the penultimate day of the IMF meetings, and then Sunday is the final day of the IMF meetings. So that's sort of what I'm looking at going into this week. So fairly short outlook again, but I don't think there's any need to sort of overcomplicate it. That's what I'm sort of looking at. These are the levels that I'm cautious of. I'm still not interested in trading inside any of these levels based on my plan. So I'll just be looking to sort of see what the 4 hours doing and going into each session, then sort of go from there. So that's what I'm looking at going into this week. Cheers.